Please state your name and address, please, sir.
Steve Ary, 1249 John Street. I just have some questions about the developments downtown. I want to talk about the convention hotel first. I'll try to keep this shorter than last time. The original rendition of the convention hotel represented 10 stories, 257 rooms, 78 high-end apartments with all-in public investment of $20 million. But now we understand that the 257-room hotel has been cut to 240. The apartments have been eliminated from the project, decreasing the hotel from a 10-story building to only 5 stories, and the original plans had an indoor swimming pool, but now we have an outdoor swimming pool. Is this true, and why?
Well, I know that, I think that my understanding is that rooms have gone down. It's gone from 5 to 10, from 10 stories to 5, but it'll be a lot wider. So I think the square area is pretty equal.
Well, I'd also say this, that we have given a picture, but we don't see any drawings yet. We don't know what, that's not.
But you know it's a fatter building.
It's a shorter, fatter building, but we've not seen the renderings. We don't know what the cost estimates are. It's still in design, as far as we know. We were going to ask that this evening, but we were declined the invitation. Somebody declined the invitation.
I see. Then I think that most of my questions are going to be about that. Are you going to be able to answer any of them tonight, or?
I know what you know.
Okay. All right. So is this something that we're going to be able to ask next time? Next meeting?
Well, Mr. Schaefer, you want to handle that? Well, he has some questions about the hotel he'd like answered. We don't know the answers. You might.
Sure, and I don't think an invitation was declined. I think the mayor relayed the current status of what was going on with the hotel via email, and I think that Councilman Adams forwarded that to the rest of the council, I think. Isn't that correct? Did everybody get a copy of that?
Well, he just thought there wasn't enough progress at this point that it merited that he come and answer our questions. I guess it's a debate as to whether that's a decline or not, but the bottom line was he said it was still in motion. There were 2 things that he suggested that maybe within a month or 2 might be more in concrete, and I passed his email on to my colleagues.
So construction drawings?
Somewhere along the line, I vaguely remember that you told us that Councilman O'Daniel and I were going to be apprised of the progress as it would go on a moment-to-moment basis, almost by Instagram, and somehow that's fallen by the wayside.
You mean on the New Deal? And I thought that you were, but the New Deal has been. Oh, so you wanted to be involved in the entire process from the New Deal when it was drawn up to the construction drawings to throughout the process?
Wasn't that your?
Oh, okay.
I think we asked that. And the mayor said no.
Oh, no. The mayor said no for the council to approve the new design. I believe that's what he. We wouldn't be coming forward with the new design.
But you and I asked for a possibility of us being
sitting in so we could.
Yeah, we would know moment to moment as to.
Councilman Daniel, the mayor even before this meeting said that he's seen just about everybody on council outside of this building, and no one has asked him about the hotel. So I think that's a little disingenuous to say that the mayor will let you know when he knows something. The mayor has.
Well, time out. Whoa. Time out.
That's what he just said.
That's what I got from his email, that there hadn't been enough progress for him to come with any substantive amount of information. And when he did, he might be coming to us. But, I mean, that's the reality. But I'm talking about way back a couple of months ago when you stood there and said that Councilor Daniel and I, if we would keep it confidential, we would be apprised of the details of the progress of this thing. And that has not been forthcoming. You know it and I know it.
Okay, well, I apologize for that. I thought that the mayor had been communicating with you on the New Deal, and there haven't been any new decisions made. Right now, there are construction drawings are being done.
Well, will there be an outside pool or inside pool?
I believe it's outside.
Outside pool.
And I think we covered that when the mayor.
Which is going to be good for about 3 months of the year?
I'm not a pool expert. I don't know.
All right, time out.
What questions are there any questions that we can answer tonight, or we can try to have
Yeah, I think
we can have Sarah
you want to
Schuler,
answer, maybe if
who's
you want to
our
ask the question,
project representative.
he could
be at the
answer
next
for you.
meeting.
Okay. So proceed?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I'm not trying to stop you from answering questions, sir. I don't think any of us can answer them up at this side of the table.
Okay. Then if that's the case, am I up here for a good reason, or should I just
Well,
postpone
perhaps-
this till next
I
time?
say Mr. Schaefer can answer.
Okay. All right. Did you hear my question?
Would you like to? We can do this after the meeting if you want.
I'd like to hear the answer. Yeah, I've got the time, if you've got the time.
Okay. Okay. Do I need to restate the question?
Sure.
Okay. The original rendition of the convention hotel represented 10 stories, 257 rooms, 78 high-end apartments with all-in public investment of $20 million. But now we understand that the 257-room hotel has been cut to 240. The apartments have been eliminated from the project, decreasing the hotel from a 10-story building to only 5 stories. And the original plans had an indoor swimming pool, but now we have an outdoor swimming pool. And the question is this true and why?
Sure. Can I have a copy of that so I can run down your list? All right, thanks. For the, let's see, is it trues or the?
I'm sorry?
Well, all of them have, is it true? So I'm just wondering if this is from the, okay. 257 room, well, it has, is it true on all of the questions? I just didn't know.
That rings a bell, doesn't it?
Just on the 257, and Kelly
So this
may
is for a
have to help
gossip
me.
site.
The 240 is the room count.
Well, it was the initial design, the recommendation
Yeah.
was 257, it was cut to 243, and then the final design had 240.
Yeah.
If you're going to add some actual numbers, I think you should be up here, too.
On the 10-story,
he keeps
it
asking
is
you
now
for the
5.
answer.
No, I just asked him the one.
Yeah, okay, all right,
I'll move closer.
all right.
Because
I'll repeat what you say.
10-story building to 5. It is now 5 because we spread it out, and that was one of the ways
And
that
you spread it out because
were
it's
able-
cheaper to have the foundation for a 5-story building than a 10-story building.
It was a cost-cutting measure.
Right.
Yeah. And steel.
Is that still considered a high-rise?
I don't know.
10 stories isn't.
I don't think
high-rise,
so.
10 stories is a low rise.
Well, you do get a shot at the anatomy lab if you're real careful.
It's indoor swimming pool. I mean, I apologize, outdoor. Let's see here.
But
The
outdoor pool
financials,
still meets
yes.
Double tree standard.
Any savings on the project? We'll go to, is it true that any is it true that any savings on the project will go to HCW? No, I believe, I'm not sure what the development agreement says, but I think that that's a good question for Nick Siriano, who wrote that. We can have him at the next meeting. And who is overseeing the construction costs to keep the players honest. As we talked about, we'll have project representatives that are going to be keeping tab on this, and we'll be doing the monthly reports once the project, the construction actually begins. Sarah Schuler with VPS Architecture is going to be that individual.
Is she on a retainer right now?
I believe so. Yes.
So we've not gotten one report, yet she's on a retainer for how many months?
Well, I think
The redevelopment commission.
Ah,
but we did
maybe she
commit
could
to
give
come to
us a
the.
report sometime.
Sarah would be happy to come and
Yeah.
give you.
And we, as we committed, she would be doing monthly reports when construction was actually beginning. So, do you want me to read through these, or okay?
It would be better if this gentleman asked Mr. Schaefer questions rather than him reading it. I don't know. Why don't you just
I can
have-
answer.
Sir, why don't you do it the way
The
you want to
apartments are
do it?
not-
This is your
okay.
moment in time.
Okay.
But if If I might, it might assist everybody here if you would ask one question at a time. I think your first question was actually 5 or 6 questions, but I think it'd be easier if you just asked one question at a time.
I think it'll move along faster if you just do it single question at a time.
Okay. The original public commitment was only $20 million, and now it's at least $23.6 million. Is this true?
The $20 million is still the public commitment.
Okay. And is it true that the project alone is $44 million at $183,333 per room, and based on the Hilton's 2013 development cost and prototype building cost data, the average 7-story full-service hotel without land costs average at less than $165,000 per room? Why is our hotel costing us more than the average? And equaling $4 million more or 10% greater.
What's the source of your data? Honestly, I can't answer that right this second. We can certainly I can give this to Sarah and our folks, and we can come up with the answers.
Okay. Also, is it true that the streetscape and infrastructure along Walnut and down southeast 6th Streets will be funded by funds outside this project and development agreement?
The streetscapes are currently being, part of it will be funded out of the med school project and some out of the hotel.
I.e., that part of the street that is next to the med school will be done by the med school and vice versa?
I think the area along 6th Street, as I looked at the development agreement, would be funded out of the med school bond.
And we're also, right now, we're trying to coordinate sewer relocations as well. So it's, we had, when everything starts, it's going to be a very hectic construction zone. So, but we can.
Okay, and what are those project costs, and what is the alternative source of funding, especially since the 2015 April downtown TIF declined by $5 million? Sorry.
Which one are you on? Sorry.
Number 4.
Number 4. Again, we can. As far as I know, there is no alternative source, that we're still using the TIF.
Okay. Is it true that the garage includes 552 spaces, of which 200 are for the med school, costing $10,050,000, or $18,200 per space? The original garage before the med school was costed at $5,461,956, or $16,500 per space. So why does the med school's extra 200 spaces have a premium of $1,700 per space?
Good question. We did allocate for the parking garage. There is a specific number of spaces that have been allocated for the med school. There's a specific number that's allocated for Deaconess, the clinic, and the hotel. Again, I'm going to have to, I don't know these per space numbers, but we can certainly report back on it. Should we? Are these your questions?
They are today.
So
we've been through this.
Is this the blog?
They're just questions I was handed.
Sir,
You were handed.
keep reading the questions, please.
Okay.
So are these your questions, or you were handed these questions?
They're questions that somebody that knows this stuff and does this research.
Mr. Schaefer, if I may, he's a member of the public, and he certainly has a right to ask these questions. If you don't want to answer them, decline the answer them, but I don't think that it's fair to start getting into who supplied him with the questions, where they came from, and that type of thing. He's the one asking the questions. I understand if you're not prepared to answer them, or if you decline to answer them, but I don't think that it's appropriate to start asking the questions that you're asking to a member of the public, any member of the public for that matter.
please, in the advent of time, sir, go ahead, keep asking your questions.
Therefore, based on the original design of 332 per space versus 552, the total cost should be $9,081,000, not $10,050,000, a premium of $969,000 to Have I You.
I don't know.
Okay.
Is it true that the garage will be licensed to HCW, not leased, and the city will be responsible for the upkeep of the garage, etc.?
That's a good one. I believe so, yes.
And what will this cost the taxpayers of Evansville per year?
I don't have that number, but I can get it.
Okay. Is it true that the development agreement requires the city to be financially responsible for everything except the hotel, with the guarantee going from $7.5 million to $9.9 million?
That'd be a question for Nick Siriano, who we can have at the next meeting, who can probably answer all of these.
Okay. Those ancillary costs appear to be $16,850,000 plus the guarantee of $9,900,000 equals $26,750,000. So why is the city's paying $28,250,000 or $1,500,000 more than the project cost?
Again, the public commitment is $20 million.
Is it true that the city is responsible for the ancillary components budget overruns?
No, I believe it's HCW, the developer.
What contingency has been built into the budget to cover?
What contingency?
And if none, where are these funds coming from?
I believe that's the developer. I don't know where their fund, the developer's funds.
And is it true that not all of the members of the council have a copy of the revised development agreement? If so, why not?
They should. The ERC minutes are distributed to council, and I believe the new agreement that was revised was approved and should have been in the packets. That's the development agreement, wasn't? So it was part of the minutes, and okay. Okay. Well, if any council member would like a copy of the revised development agreement, I'm more than happy to provide it.
The ERC had it.
Oh.
So
all
the
the
ERC rep could get it. Either one.
Is it true that the general contractor is not required to use local subs and suppliers if the cost and quality is not an issue?
I don't believe that's correct. Yeah, there's a PLA that's going to be transferred.
Is it true that for $44 million, each and every hotel room will have a window air conditioning unit? If so, will Hilton approve it?
That's actually a rumor I started about a month ago when Hire America started their plant. It was a joke. Hire makes, one of the things that they make is no. There will not be outside air conditioning units at the hotel. And the last question, Hilton, it will have to abide by Hilton standards.
Okay.
Doubletree.
Or
Doubletree.
well, Hilton Doubletree.
Okay. Is it true that the original UV windows have now been replaced with ordinary window glass?
I don't know. That'll be a good question. Sarah Schuler will be able to probably answer that. She's been working closely with Hunt Construction, so she'll be able to answer.
It'll meet Doubletree standards.
Okay.
All the construction crews have to meet Doubletree standards.
Okay, and I think this might have been discussed before, but the June 2015 installment received from property owners in the form of property taxes was only $13 million, compared to $21 million 1 year ago. What happened to the shortfall of $8 million? And how can this council vote for the credit without any formal spending plan as strongly suggested by UMBAH financial advisors nearly a year ago.
Excuse me. As I explained earlier, there was no shortfall.
Thank you.
So if I understand it, you're going to come back at our next meeting, and Sarah's going to be here, and Nick's going to be here, and we will have all the answers. In the interim of time, Kelly, you're going to send all the city councilmen, just for sake of completeness, the revised development agreement.
I will send you the revised, well, I have Lana. Lana
Please.
has it. I'll have Lana send all of them.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
For joining us.